Dwayne goes, I'm not good at anything. Real setting up
Oh,
his.
we love a man who knows his limits, which are everything.
We got Dwayne making jokes about like key parties and Watergate. And,
Here's where the secret lesson of the episode comes in. Women, stop encouraging men. Don't tell them they're funny, or they will become stand-up comedian.
Jason is on his way to the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
He said, "Speaking of shots," and I was like, haha, gun joke, and he goes, "Three men are about to be executed."
Welcome to Talking to Tomatoes, a podcast where we deconstruct the religious fundamentalist media that we grew up with, not only for the quality, but for the pernicious propaganda behind it. I am your host, Eric Eberly.
And I'm Jubilee Alexander.
Today we're continuing with another episode of the Adventures in Odyssey radio program by Focus on the Family. Hang on, where did my notes go? I just had my notes here. What's that? What's this episode called? Something
It's
funny.
called "The Joke's on You" with an exclamation point, so you know it's gonna be funny.
Oh, it's gotta be funny. Holy crap! The joke's on you. Yes, it's This was a slightly difficult one because it was sort of a one note episode. There wasn't as much of the delving into the weird plot contrivances because again, it's just a story about some kids and the things that happen to them rather than.
We went from a French, like 19th century French farce to a like one act, like a black box one act. So
Yeah.
it was just like there's exactly one thing that happens, and it just kind of slowly, like someone probably just sat there and was like, okay, this happens, and then he decides to do it like this, and we'll get into what it is because it will take us about 5 minutes to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really straightforward. It kind of didn't say a lot, good or bad, but ultimately it did sort of fall apart as a moral lesson.
Okay, so this, I sort of found it funny because there was a lot of characters that's in the one other episode that didn't appear in the first episode we did, and so
Yeah,
I was sitting there going, who are these people?
I had no idea who anybody was.
So we're introduced to some new characters for this podcast. Dwayne is the main character.
Dwayne.
It opens up in some sort of class. They're sort of vague on what it is, but they're talking.
I thought
about,
it was Sunday school at first. Like I was convinced it was Sunday school.
I mean,
but
that
they
that
just
would make sense.
kept calling it class, and they called the teacher Jason, Mr. Jason. Do they call him Mr. Jason,
yes.
or
Just
they
Jason.
just call him Jason, which is odd.
His big youth pastor energy.
Yeah, and which again was what made me think it was that. But then, yeah, they keep referring back to it as class.
They read a verse, which I didn't pull that up.
It's not. It's not important. It's not good. It's about encouraging your brothers. It's Romans 10 something.
I wrote down the verse is Galatians 6:2, but I didn't write. I don't have it memorized. Yeah, so it's something about encouraging people and bearing burdens and stuff, and you're like, yeah, okay, like, sounds good.
We're gonna learn about helping people today.
Yeah, right? Are we? And Julie is a new another character who asks about like what does that mean? What does bearing bearing burdens actually mean? And this Jason guy is like, oh, it's about helping people and encouraging them. Somehow it comes up about what are you good at. I think as a vector of how could you help someone using things you're good at. And this one
They're setting up a real straightforward child's like thing of like, yeah, oh, bearing your burdens, you're gonna help something. Someone would say something like, oh, bear burdens like carrying groceries. I think that 6-year-old, 65-year-old little kid is yucking it up, being like carrying in the groceries.
Yeah,
and then he goes, no, what are you good at?
And then our main character Dwayne goes, I'm not good at anything. Real real setting up
Oh, we
his.
love a man who knows his limits, which are everything.
Yeah, he's setting himself up for a real Midwest emo phase. About he's like, I'm not good at anything, and
He felt
then
also felt real weaponized
I
incompetence.
I
Like,
literally wrote Dwayne in the weaponized incompetence
yeah,
right there because he's like yeah, because he says something about he's trying to help his mom with one thing, and he I think he messes that up, and so then
he
then
always
because
drops he says he drops everything he picks up, which is some kind of motor dysfunction.
yeah, that
Cause
that
like
seems like you should get that looked at if that is
that's
actually
not
true.
clumsy. That's like uh skeletal muscularly concerning.
Yeah, yeah, we need to talk to your pediatrician. Does it? Yeah, that's at the beginning of a class action lawsuit. Does your child do this? They may have been spending too much time at wit's end. Uh, and
Or they put lead in their chocolate sodas. We'll
that's
get to the
that's that's
fucking
what
chocolate
that's why
soda.
they taste so good. In the yeah, in the process, so eventually the teacher is like, well, Dwayne is useless, and the class ends. And then we have a very funny conversation between Julie and a child who sounds like she's 4, but has the so Julie is
Voice of the
like
4-year-old and the mannerisms of a 65-year-old.
it is
Like we're weary. Wow, weary of the world type person.
so weary, and the so Julie is like, I think I like. Did you hear how Dwayne in the class was so down on himself? I think I can fix him. And Julie goes, "Girl."
Girl,
But Dwayne, yeah. So Julie is like, I'm going to
encourage
encourage
Dwayne.
and Dwayne, and
Yeah.
you're like, cool, yeah. He seemed pretty down on himself, and so they go and they have a conversation that just was so weird because he's like, oh, what am I good at? And then she like goes for way too long, and I'm like, and at this point Dwayne's like, okay, yeah, I get it, some reinforcement. And then she goes, you're funny. And then he says, what do you mean I'm funny? And I was like, I was like, well, you're great at quoting Goodfellas. So I'm funny how? Like
What
a
do you mean I'm
clown?
fucking funny? Uh,
That
that was
was
my best Joe Pesci right there. How
yeah, that was something. And so he's like, oh, thanks. Oh, that's nice to know. And then
here's where the secret lesson of the episode comes in. Women, stop encouraging men. Don't tell them they're funny, or they will become stand-up comedian.
I was gonna say podcasters, but um, but yeah. So Dwayne's like, oh, thanks, and then fucks off. And then we're returned to something that we're gonna have to put together the scope of this business. We go back to John
Yeah,
Avery
what the
Whitaker's
fuck
like
is what's end?
business, Wits End, which again we've talked about. It's some sort of like community center kind of a thing. But now we're introduced to it as a malt shop. Also, and the character Jason makes a reappearance working behind the counter, who I believe he says he refers to someone as dad.
Which
He's
was
looking for wit.
confusing. I was telling you that I was like, wait, is Julie and Jason siblings? Is that are they? But and then I was like, no, well, no, Jason's working there, and I'm like, well, all the kids seem to work there too. Like, what's happening? Maybe it's like a co-op. Maybe everyone has to do some shifts down at Wits End, which
Yeah,
also
maybe.
has a library apparently.
Right, we'll get to that. But yeah, so Jason's working at the malt shop, and Julie walks in. God, these names just refuse to stick in my head. We get Julie, Sally, Sarah. Like they're just yeah. It's all these little children who sound the same, and it's very confusing. Anyway, he Julie comes down and is like, "Oh, I took your advice, Mr. Jason."
I
And
fixed a man.
I fixed the man. It took one conversation. That's all it took. And then Julie, God, is accosted by a group of children. They literally, you hear the ding ding radio drama of the door open, and they're like, "There she is!" I'm like, oh God! And a bunch of people
It
run
wasn't
up, and
intense. It was the best part of the whole episode is this conversation.
honestly, that is correct. But there she is, and apparently through one conversation of encouragement, Dwayne has now decided he's going to be a comedian, which of course, as everyone loves, means he's never not on. So he's just going around doing terrible jokes. At which point Dwayne comes in, and the crowd of kids see him and go to scatter. Um, the best line in the best conversation of "We'll get you for this, Julie, if it's the last thing we do," says the little
It's the
girl.
last thing. This reminded me of the I don't know if you remember we had a random like technical writing class together in college, and we got into some bullshit group project, and when we were had to like put together a like outline or like an outline about the presentation we were going to give. I don't remember which one of us said it, but one of us goes like improve attendance the at X event at all costs.
At all
And everyone was
costs.
it was like a bunch of serious students and we were like at all costs. Which was had big we'll get you for this, Julie, if it's the last we'll get you for this, Julie, if it's the last thing we do.
Oh my God! And so Dwayne comes in and starts, "Hey, how's it going, ladies and germs?" The two genders, ladies and germs, and the he starts doing his jokes, and holy shit, one of his first jokes is literally a capital. The capital punishment is the framing of the entire joke. It's
Oh
like,
my god! I literally said he said speaking of shots, and I was like, haha, gun joke, and he goes, three men are about to be executed, and I was like, oh my god,
well, and I even went. I was like, wow, he's gonna do a lethal injection joke, and he's like, no, firing squad. Like the
firing squad.
and honestly, framing aside, the joke was kind of funny because it's
It
like
was,
three.
I mean, yeah, they're all right.
There's these. It's like there's these three prisoners, and whenever it's their time to face the music, so to speak, they shout like earthquake, and everybody runs away, and then the prisoner escapes. And so there's like earthquake, and the second one goes tornado, and then the third one goes fire. And so it's ready.
It was like ready, aim, and then the guy
And the
yells
prisoner
earthquake.
goes
Ready,
fire.
aim, the guy. And then, yeah, the last one is ready, aim, fire.
But yeah,
Yeah, that one
yes.
was honestly okay. And he's going but at the end of each one. Anyway, his jokes are bad. We don't need to belabor the this bullshit, but it was just he's telling bad jokes and then immediately Jason goes, Julie, you need to get him to stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Undermining
Not
the
even
point of
like.
the encouragement.
Yeah, yeah. The first time it doesn't go absolutely perfectly. Yeah, Jason's like, Julie, you got to fix this.
Yeah,
You've
this is on you, Julie.
what have you done? My God, what have you
Julie,
done?
what Julie, what have you done?
Yeah, he jumps straight to not that it's not like any 8-year-old hasn't ever succeeded in a thing they're not immediately amazing at or something. But Jason, who again we pretty sure is Whit's son, which means he's working for his dad, is like, it's time to crush this little boy's dreams. It's like, all right, you nepo baby, like.
Then even turns it morally like that you lied to him. Which again, this was a bad way to encourage someone. Like it was a bad thing to encourage. It also was like it was barely encouragement and then like I felt like there could have been a lesson about like help them be better at something. Like if you're bad at something and you want to get better, practice. Cuz like there was some little thing where he was like skating and he's like I always fall down. And she's like everybody falls down on their first time. He goes, "It's my 15th," which I thought was pretty funny. And he goes,
Oh right,
"Sometimes
this.
people fall down on their 15th too." And it's like that would have made more sense to be like I don't know, maybe if she did help him get a little better, and then I mean, again, it still would have diluted the point, but it was like she said one thing to him, "You're funny," And he goes, right, good point. I am funny. Let's go be a comedian.
Let's go make this my entire personality. There was also God, I don't remember the joke. Oh. Okay, I remember the joke. The joke that was like his like closing joke as he left, and then Jason was like, "You got to stop this." It's something about like people going on like how do you know like something says on strike, and he goes you something about pick it as in like picking your nose sort of a
Yeah.
thing, and Jason goes that's disgusting, and I was like okay Jason who works for your dad, why is that joke disgusting? Because it's about a bodily
Jason is
function,
anti-labor. We get it.
or is it because it's a pro union jokes or a pro
Also, this
organization?
8-year-old knowing what picketing is and knowing about
That's
unions.
that's that's
It was a
that was a little
different time.
surprising. Yeah, apparently Jason just had too many of his dreams crushed by his dad, who wanted him to go into the malt shop library community center co-op business. Being her responsibility to fix it, Julie is like, how am I gonna do this? And later, Dwayne is like, oh, we're I'm there's a talent show, and I'm already signed up for it, sort of a thing. And then Julie goes, oh, there's an audition process, and Julie goes, oh, audition. He's terrible. They're gonna crush his dreams for me. So then it's like. It's like okay, so we don't have to worry about again taking
Yeah, they
responsibility for
continue.
this.
She continues to not have to do her thing, which like I feel like there's like Jason just keeps going. By the way, need to crush his dreams. Which now thinking about his dreams having been crushed, and that's why he works for his dad, is makes sense that he wants to crush this little boy's dreams.
Yeah, everyone needs to be as miserable as Jason. But so Julie's like, not my problem anymore. The audition committee is going to crush his dreams.
Did that the scene with the audition seem like wildly long? You're like, they can just be like, they could have done an in medias res. Oh my god, we don't have enough people to sign up for it. And he goes, whatever, just sign up the next person who comes in. And then he walks in. It could have been. I felt like it was 7 minutes long, and it could have been like 30 seconds.
It was weirdly long. There was I don't know. They seemed like they wrote a bunch of jokes for the audition committee to be like these children are all terrible, and like we can like if this show is only 9 acts long, not going to be able to
Not make
charge for this.
not gonna be able to charge. They're not gonna make money. It's going to be a fan. I'm just like, what the? I didn't realize that we were working with our profit margins on a damn talent show,
Yeah, a school,
a
yeah.
school talent show. It's
It
like,
was I guess it was a little confusing but they talk about the auditorium. So again, what the hell is this talent show? If it's important enough that they need to, it's not just like an event that they do, but it's something that they need to make money. At which point, it's like, if this is a regular thing, why aren't we courting more talent or holding more auditions or something like that? But so Dwayne gets up to do his jokes and almost gets through one joke, and they're like, "You're hired," which again, a wild thing to do considering they literally did a thanks, don't call us, we'll call you to the person right before who was doing a terrible clarinet something. One thing I did think was pretty funny is in that scene, after he's accepted, and after, he comes up and he's all there's a my dad jumped over 4 frogs, something like that. And they go, you're great, you're in, and then he goes, oh, cool, really, and it's like, no amount of you sitting there and go, ooh, wait, stage fright is real. He's just immediately on like psyched that he's on board of something that was clearly scaring him or stressing him out. One of the people goes like, we could have at least let him tell a joke. And he looked funny. And I'm
oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
I do remember the. He looked
thanks.
funny.
Jason is on his
What do
way
you
to the
mean I
Riyadh
look
Comedy
funny?
Festival.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, and then
And there's
again,
another damn scene where Julie almost goes to say them, and then something else comes up. He's gonna leave town. It doesn't matter. He's gonna leave town. Then he like goes to go do the thing,
I
and then it
completely forgot.
turns out he was doing she like does a no, like running into the auditorium, and he gets up there and he starts doing magic tricks. And it's like, oh, he decided to do magic instead, and his dad told him that he wasn't any good.
Yeah,
So,
the whole
fathers crushing
reveal.
dreams left and right.
Yeah, so it didn't take Julie to crush his dreams; it took his dad. So just like it happened with Jason, Dwayne's dreams are also crushed. His dad tells him, "Hey, you're not very good. Let me teach you some magic real quick, and then you can do that." So, again, we have we had the other scene with Julie being told you gotta fix the man that you broke further
It was
than.
just the same scene over and over again.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
honestly, Dwayne's jokes are some of the most entertaining thing because they were different from time to time. So,
yeah. At least he comes up and he does something different. But yeah, it was so weird. And she's like, "Yeah, sorry, I didn't tell you that your joke sucked." And he goes, "That's okay." The end. And I was literally like, "Wait, that's the end of the episode?" Like, no,
yeah, I couldn't believe.
it
So
was.
it really loses its own point, and it like doesn't make sense because again, it was the Bible verse is saying to the Bible verse, and the thing is, it is your job to help encourage people around him because that is a hard thing to do, and the episode doesn't show that as a hard thing to do. It shows it as a mistake in the one example we see.
Yeah, it's literally undermining its own message because we don't ever see it going good. And again, thinking of this as a show for children, it's like as grown-ups we can go, okay, well that didn't work out very well, but we can still understand the message of we should encourage each other. But we're talking about a show for little kids who this is all that they see, and so then they're like, wait, so are we supposed to help them or not? It was very odd. And as I was thinking about it, it was reminding me, I was doing sort of badly, of something that I have here. These are some books that from when I was a kid called Sweet Pickles, and they're a series of things in a village with some animals, and they all have like these names, like worrying walrus and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so, kind of the core books is each one there's an animal, their defect, for lack of a better word, and then it shows it happening. And as an adult, I went back and was looking through them, and I kind of hated the books because it's like there's one where there's a creature that's mad that it's not getting its way and it throws a fit, and then sort of as punishment, all of their friends start basically mocking them in imitation and show them how ridiculous it is, and they're throwing themselves on the ground and rah, rah, rah. And then the original one stands up and goes, "You guys are being ridiculous," and leaves. And the book ends. And my first thought was like, "What? What do you? What? You can't leave on that note." Like he has to go. Oh, I realize I did something wrong. Until I read something in the front of the books that are or one of the books that was like basically this is not supposed to end with the book. This is supposed to start a conversation like with your kid.
Sure.
That's this one was the Adventures in Odyssey was kind of doing that, but then
But then it bookends it with the Bible verse and is like, "Welp, we're done. Goodbye." Like, here's the Bible verse. Remember here, like, and it also again did that weird thing. I don't remember if we talked about it just aside or the Bible verse on the last episode. There was a really muddy transition between when the person was describing the verse versus what it actually was. Part of that was because the wording was strange, but I felt like they did it again where they're just like, make sure you encourage people, like, goodbye. And it was like, that kind of wasn't really the message we got.
the Sweet Pickles books are meant for small children. Children aren't going to read these by themselves. They're a little bit too advanced for that. Which is what so it's like you would be there with the child and then you would read the book, and but yeah, this one it just ends on its same point, framing it as there we go, we're good to go, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
no, what are you talking about? It was quite odd, and more annoying than anything. Didn't have that much funny stuff to talk about. So
Yeah, it was kind of like, wow, we're doing this whole scene again where Julie almost tells Dwayne that his jokes suck. Share your brother's burdens or by helping them become a podcaster or a
Yeah,
stand-up
yeah.
comedian.
So good job, Jubilee. You're helping the you're
Yay!
you're helping your brother with a podcast.
I
Did
want some
start.
messier ones.
Yeah, we need to find some messier, some more plot heavy ones. I'm actually going to be curious to get into maybe the next one, just to sort of see what to try to start categorizing some episodes. We should do one that's like a Bible story and be like, is this
Sure.
just going to be a recreation of the Bible story, and then or how much of a
Do
spin
one
are
of
they
them
going to
go
put
back in
on?
time and watch the Bible story?
Yeah, or is it going to be Wit's commentary on it all? I don't know if he comes with them or he just shoves them in the TARDIS and says, "Have fun." About that, but we'll do that for one of our next ones.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate this?
I
And what
wrote.
would you rate this?
Uh, I'll rate this 3.5 chocolate sodas.
Can we talk about that? What the fuck is a chocolate soda? What the fuck is a chocolate soda? I'm
I
I'm like
I'm
thinking like,
afraid.
is it a LaCroix chocolate? A chocolate LaCroix with syrup?
Based on its name, I'm gonna assume that it's somehow chocolate syrup mixed with soda water, which sounds vile.
I mean, would
Cho-
would that be good in cola? That sounds so gross.
okay. So it looks like a chocolate soda is kind of like a ice cream float, but like with chocolate soda, like it's chocolate syrup, whipped cream, carbonated water, and ice cream mixed in. So it's not just. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, root
Which
beer
again
float
sort of
kicks
makes sense if
ass.
it sort of makes sense if Wits End is God. We forgot to talk about the fact that apparently there's a library in Wits End too. So
Oh,
so it's like
I mentioned it. I just said there's a library, I guess, because he was
oh
looking for
yeah,
books.
because Dwayne is like, hey, are there any joke books in a library? He's like, oh, that's definitely gonna age well, as memorizing a bunch of books from a 30 from a, at the point this was a I think this was a 1994 episodes, but even so, a book from the 60s or 70s. We got
Yeah,
Dwayne making jokes about like key parties and Watergate, something like that. But yeah, so next time we're gonna do a Bible story, and then we can start doing some categorizing of these episodes.
yeah. Maybe there'll be imagination station episodes, Bible stories, parables. Who will see? We'll see what
Yeah, the
happens.
weird moralizing. I don't know. Maybe we do 2 episodes if they're this short or something like that, so we can
Yeah, well,
get
yeah.
through.
I popped it in this morning. I was like, I'll at least start listening to it. And I was like, jump ahead like 10 minutes, and then like 15 minutes near the end, it's like, well, that's all. Can we also talk about how annoying Chris's voice is? Welcome to Adventures in Odyssey. I'm Chris. Who the fuck is Chris?
Who is Chris? Who are all
Who's
these
Chris?
people? We haven't even
Who
met
are all
Connie
these
yet.
people?
One of the few
Connie,
names I remember. All right, let's get out of
Eugene.
here. Find us on the various socials. I'm
Yes,
personally I'm on TikTok as Eric.Eberly.
and I'm Jubilee Titan of Joy. No, I'm
And
just Titan. I'm Jubilee Titan of Joy. You'll find me. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
the pernicious media aggregate, and I'm not Jubilee Dawn, who also does evangelical content. I'm the yet third Jubilee.
yeah, find us on all the various socials except for Twitter. And talk to you later, tomatoes. Haha, it's a thing now.